Hi guys, today I'm here with a new blaster Diana. Basically, I loaned this from Black Raisin to have a look. They are the so-called the authorized distributor out of China for this blaster itself. This is actually a brushless motor, and it's a select fire kind of blaster itself. So this is pretty interesting. So come with it a kind of instruction manual. The blaster itself, this is actually a very good size, as you can see over here. So it's very small, very slim, very slick over here. Yeah, it's got its own magazine. Now the magazine design, it actually used a kind of the coil spring. You can see over here, it's not the typical return spring, as you can see. Right, so this catch is on this side, so it's going to be slightly different from the rest of this magazine that we had. Right, so it is actually from them. And this design, yeah, the kind of the spring seems to be pretty kind of good kind of strength. Right, now this blaster is recommended to take a 4S lipo. All right, over here, as you can see over here, it's 650 MHA 75C. Yeah, this is actually a 4S. Now I don't really have the dimension, but you can take a rough measurement of what's the dimension over here. Okay, 60. This is like 20, about 30. Yep. Okay, so that is roughly the measurement, so that you can have a look itself. So let's put away the rest of the item over here, and then let's just take a look at this blaster itself, which I feel that is pretty interesting, and it is a select fire. And yeah. We are back to look at the blaster itself. So the magazine is actually a 10 round magazine over here, as you can see. Now the darts that I'm using is actually also from Black Raisin. Later on we'll test the FPS with this dart itself, as well as the yellow dart that is from Wooker itself. Right, so over here, let's just take a look at the blaster itself. Right, okay, on this side you can see that there are this thing over here. This is basically for you to have the so-called the select control. Is on the lock mode, push one forward, it is a single shot, semi-auto, and then all the way to the front, it's basically full auto. Now yes, you can reach it with your finger, but again, the kind of the stop is kind of sometimes you might just miss it, but then again, at least you can reach it from your finger. Now what is interesting is actually on this side over here, there's this switch over here, as you can see. Okay, you can push it down or up. Basically this is a hot start or a cold start. When it's in front, the brushless motor over here actually is not spinning, and you push it to the back, it's actually going to pre-spin and stay at that low kind of RPM, and then you can fire off. Right, so maybe let's just take a look at the front and how we load the battery. The battery tray is in front over here. Okay, as you can see. Okay, so we just remove it, and yeah. Okay, then there is a XT30 over here. Like I said, it takes a 4S lipo, but it actually can take a 3S, but of course the recommendation is a 4S, and it is quite a tight fit, I would say. Right, so I'm just going to, well, sometimes you need to fiddle with it a little bit before you can close the so-called the battery compartment itself. Right, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to fit the battery in, and I'm not going to close the so-called the blaster itself, just to save time. Now when you connect the battery, okay, maybe I'll just connect it here. Okay, once you connect it, you actually kind of switch the system on. So that's something that you need to take note of. So once you connect, you hear the TTT, right? So that is the signal that it is on. Now, and also this thing will actually light up, okay, when it's on. So if it's disengaged, you disengage the battery, this is going to be off. So this is also a good indicator that it is on. Okay, so that's a good feature about that. Right, so there you go. This is a blaster. Thing to take note, this two black piece over here, now it is the so-called, it's made of metal, right? Okay, and it acts as like a heat sink. So this part is going to get kind of heat up over time. So be careful, don't really try not to touch it. Right? Yeah, so again, okay, so this is the system. Now it's in the lock position all the way down, doesn't have much of a display, right? So over here Okay, if you can load the magazine over here, and then of course the release is over here. Pretty nice release. Okay, over here. Right. Okay, so let's take a look. Now, if you were to switch it down, okay, and if it's on a single, you can actually hear a fade sound. Not too sure we can hear it. Let me bring it closer to my microphone. Okay, not sure you can hear it or not, but that is like a pre-spinning kind of deal. But if you switch it forward, then it's going to be just going to be a cold start. That means when you pull the trigger, you fire off. Okay, there will be a little bit of a delay, okay, because you need to spin out the flywheel and then do the stuff. So again, later on the FPF testing, I'm going to test with a cold start and as well as a warm start, or hot, or we call it hot start, something like that. Right, so again, this is a first position is actually lock mode, second position is a single shot. So again, if you just need to fire off, let me just fire this station. Okay, you press, there's a little bit of delay. Now it contrasts with the pre-spinning. Okay, now I'm pre-spinning. The delay is not that obvious, and it actually feels a lot. You can feel the responsiveness of this is greatly improved in that sense. And no, although I can't kind of show the footage, I did test it when I don't fire off to the target itself. I find that when you have the switch it to the hot, it is the grouping is a little bit closer, and then because of the responsive time, it feels a little bit more kind of nice when you wield it. Right. So if you were to go all the way to the front, it's going to be full auto. Whoa, that is crazy. Right, so there you go, fire all the shots. Right, and then yeah, so this is basically more or less the functionality of the blaster itself. Again, okay, you have a choice of lock, single shot, and then full auto, reachable by your finger over here, of course. My left hand friends, I'm sorry, it's on the other side. Right, over here you have a cold start, and then a hot start. Over here, yeah, so I'll say if you were to just draw it out and then fire off the first shot, maybe you need it is set as a kind of a cold start. But if you're going around already using it, maybe you want to switch it to the hot start. It's more responsive, and I find that the shots are more consistent and the grouping is a lot better. Now this color itself, from my understanding, what are available. Right, now if you go to the website itself, it will say that it is sold out, but then again, just give the guy at Black Raisin a drop them an email. They told me that they will have stock, right? Sooner or later the stock will come in. Now this version over here, from my understanding, is a limited edition color. By default there are two colors, the pink and the green. And this is actually a limited edition. I believe it's around 300 worldwide, and then for them they have 20 or less, right? So yeah, so if you want more information, check it out with them. Yeah, so let's go for the FPS test. Alright, conclusion. What do I think about this blaster? This is definitely a very kind of nice size sidearm blaster over here. Now if you no, and it feels great, right? Everything's kind of feels great. It's compact, it's simple, not much of a gimmick. Maybe I'll just kind of stay as a semi-auto mode, okay, and then just use it because it's just 10 round. Full auto is probably you're gonna empty the mag in one shot. So kind of a semi-auto mode is going to be nice. Now this thing does get a little bit kind of you warm out over time, so you do really need to be careful about this thing. And yeah, it's good that they use metal pieces to act as a hot sink as well. And yeah, the cold start and warm start, the warm start and the cold start is really a good kind of feature. Yeah, and it's a brushless. Okay, not many blaster out there is brushless, and so if you want to have one, okay, this is definitely something of a nice option. I do not know the price. I believe the price is still to be confirmed if I'm not wrong, so you can check with the guys from Black Raisin. Alright, so overall, yeah, I like this blaster a lot. Good size, good sidearm, definitely worth checking out. So I'm Tungsten, thanks for watching, bye.